In a world where king matters all, even the queen is still just a pawn. It's interesting to think about. Microaggressions. Microaggressions are very interesting. Most people don't really take them much for what they're actually doing to us. Discount, minimize, think they're insignificant, not worth mentioning. And so microaggressions are quite forgotten quite often. But they're actually quite damaging. I spend all day as a therapist talking to people about how society is creating this damage, and they're not the ones who are sick. How, if society were to accept us as transgender individuals, as we are, we wouldn't feel so bad about who we are. That we're just trying to live, or trying to be, or trying to do things that no one else is questioned about. No one else is told that they can't, they shouldn't. Things like that. Microaggressions. Some people say they don't exist. Some people say it doesn't matter. Some people say that they don't believe in them, or that microaggressions are a part of the actual discrimination and prejudice. That microaggressions are something that are listed. But I take them as a generalized idea. Microaggressions are the prejudices and discriminations, the thoughts and actions that society has woven into the fabrics, made us believe that it doesn't really happen, that it's all us, that it's our faults, that they get uncomfortable when we walk in a room, that they feel like we should be the ones to accommodate for their anxieties, their angers, their depressions. They feel like if they're the ones who feel stress when I walk into the ladies' room, that I'm the one at fault, even though they're the ones who are distressed by it. After all, I'm fairly wide-shouldered and male, boned. Spent 30 years, testosterone-based body. What do you expect? Got my problems. But I also have very feministic characteristics. Ones that others get uncomfortable when they see. Because what man should have those? It's because I'm not a man. Wide-shouldered woman. But that's the thing. These are the microaggressions. They make us feel like we are the ones at fault, that we have a problem with ourselves. What woman walks around with a lower voice, or male pattern baldness? Even the word male pattern baldness. It's interesting. I don't have a problem with myself. I like who I am. I find it very enjoyable to live life without having to try and restrict myself and garner myself in ways that a masculine world expects me to have. Because I'm not a man. I don't understand the male ways. Never did. Tried. I understand it the same way that a scientist understands gorillas. Can see it and relate, can predict, and even mimic. But they don't actually act that way. Now, in a male world, I feel like I'm the scientist amongst the gorillas. The scientist amongst the gorillas basically is the person who the gorillas see the scientist as just this really odd kind of gorilla, smaller, no hair, acts in funny ways, always seems to be draped in various things that must be uncomfortable. But you know what? Even though they're quirky and weird, they're still a gorilla, and they are accepted in a kind of way as part of the gorillas. But the scientist knows that they're not a gorilla. Makes it easier to study the gorillas, so they're not going to complain. It's actually quite nice that the gorillas think that I'm one of the gorillas. It's kind of, what do you want to say? Flattering that I was able to get it so right that even if I'm a bit quirky, I'm still accepted. But I'm not a gorilla. No more than I'm a man. It's the microaggressions of the world, of society, of America, of masculinity, toxic masculinity, cause us to feel like we have big problems about ourselves and we need to fix this. No, others need to fix it. Because I'm not the one with the problem. I accept me. I have no problem with me. I don't force it down anyone's throat. I don't require anything from you but respect. Human being respect. But they don't even give me human being respect because in that microaggressive way, society has taught them to see me as less than a human being. And they will deny this. Of course they will. That's why it's a microaggression. Microaggressions are things that people feel like they're helping you or they're doing the right thing or that it is natural or appropriate or whatever. And yet it still demeans, ridicules, despises. Quite often they even think that they're complimenting. It's just causing damage. Tell me if you want to hear more about microaggressions. If you do, I'll talk more. I do a lot of studying about them. I teach it at a graduate level in university. I do trainings and stuff like that about it. So I've spent a lot of time studying it. If you want more information about it, I'd be more than willing to do. Just let me know. Otherwise, try to take care.